Hi, I'm Brandon. I love Hallmark mahogany movies.
I'm Brian, and I can't wait to hear what Dan thinks of. I like them. I can't wait to hear what Dan thinks of Hallmark mahogany movies.
I'm Dan, and I'm very concerned something's happening to Brian.
I take umbrage. Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark.
Disrespectful.
Hey, you go back and listen to yourself there. I think you're going to be with me.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
All right, Brian, you go ahead and just you spell your name for us, bud. Count to 10.
What's today's date?
Address.
It's gonna be May.
I got to be honest. It's been almost a full week since the Bruins collapse. I feel
Thanks for bringing it up.
I feel like he'd be better by now, but
Thanks for bringing it up.
He just isn't.
He just keeps looking at pictures of bears. It's really weird.
It's a nice looking bear.
It's a good looking bear. He literally has not worked all week.
He just keeps walking.
He just keeps walking and just mumbling to himself.
What is even his? Do they even have Panthers down there?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And he hasn't worn his baseball pants once this week.
It's crazy. Not a single blizzard.
That's how you know
haven't been
things are
feeling
tough.
it.
No.
Haven't been.
You doing okay?
Yep. Good enough, you know.
Good enough.
Good enough. As far as you're concerned, everybody here is concerned.
As far as I'm concerned.
As far as everybody here is concerned, what does that even mean?
That means he's not doing
Go
well.
back, everybody go back and listen to the intro that we didn't re-record. Brian
You guys said we would
is in
redo that.
another world there. I just want to be clear.
What's the point, you know? Just what's the point?
Guys, I got a movie for today. Not an official spring fling movie. But it is called Spring Breakthrough.
Yeah.
This
Why
movie
isn't it? Who
does
knows?
take place during spring break.
Yes,
The
it does.
only movie so far this spring that has. It is not a spring fling movie.
Right.
Don't you dare call it one. This is its own thing.
Are you doing an ad read for somebody with that coffee up like that?
Its own thing. Now
If
this
you're
is,
watching on Philo TV.
go to two real quick,
Go to
Aaron.
two
Look at
real
this.
quick, Aaron.
mug.
Look at that hot mug. Wow. It's a winter scene. It's a winter scene. What is it?
Winter scene.
How do you have it?
Winter
scene.
When do you have it?
Winter time.
All year. Guys, you ready to talk about Spring Breakthrough?
Middle of April.
You guys ready to talk about Spring Breakthrough?
May. Yes.
Spring Breakthrough originally aired on April 30th, the last day of the month.
Yes.
April came, showers came, and we ended the month with Spring Breakthrough, April 30th, 2023. And it went a little something like this. Monica is a hotshot career woman that the board that she goes to talk in front of cheers when she gets up to talk. She goes to make a speech to the board about the future, and the board cheers.
Woo! Let's go, Monica.
She leads the Windy City Cultural Youth Center. She's been working there for 20 years. They're celebrating her 20-year anniversary of work. One of the board members is like, hey, you think that we should build an app?
This board member's drunk.
Yeah.
Hey, you think we should build an app?
Yeah, I
This
think we
is a
should build an
reenactment.
app.
An aggressive reenactment.
And Monica says, no, I don't think so. Our donors are old school. They would just confuse them. This board member then says, hey, did you look at all that stuff I sent you on the website?
Had a couple more shots during the answer.
And Monica says, yeah, a lot of the stuff that you said sounded clickbaity. So no, we're not going to do that. The next day, after 20 years of service, she gets fired. Just straight up,
Sucker.
clear out your desk.
Stop
You're
trying to
out.
help those youth.
You're out of here.
You say you-
Cut to a college student named Vivian who gets proposed to on the way to class by our guy Sean. Sean does not have a ring yet, but he does have love for
Spring
Vivian.
Breakthrough. Oh.
No, not yet. Wait for it.
So she calls her mom. Her mom is Monica, by the way. And it's like, hey mom, guess what? Getting married. Monica is not thrilled. And that bums Vivian out a little bit, but they are all going to go down to the Caribbean of the South, Alabama, to celebrate
I gotta be
spring
honest,
break.
I can't wait till the end of this. You called Alabama the Caribbean. If for it to be the Caribbean South, it would have to be south of the Caribbean.
The Caribbean of the south of the United States.
Yeah.
Like the south.
The dirty South.
Like the
Caribbean
south.
of the South is the Caribbean. That's all I'm saying.
You could say that, but
One
there's
would.
always something more southern. Like, what are we going to say? The Caribbean.
No, if you were in Brazil and found a good beach in Brazil, you could call that the Caribbean of the South.
Right.
That is south of the Caribbean.
No, I'm saying-
Alabama is north of the Caribbean. You can't call that the Caribbean of the South.
You can't call the North Pole the South Pole of America. So, I get what you're saying, I guess.
Yeah.
They go to the
of course.
Caribbean. They go to the Caribbean of the South, Alabama. In the airport, Monica meets a hunk who buys her a book and then plays soccer by himself.
Soccer.
And when you know it, that hunk works at the resort and is Sean's godfather. You come to me in a moment here in the Caribbean.
This whole episode was worth it.
His name is Clark.
Not
and
the Caribbean, south or north.
boy, do I love Clark. Clark is wonderful. And if anybody can send me a link, send me a contact for where I can find the sweater thing that Clark is wearing the first time they meet on the golf course. Not the over one, but when he takes that off, he's
Quarter
wearing
zip
this.
short sleeve pink thing.
Monica is
I
like.
think it looked just as good on you, Brandon.
Probably.
That's
would.
not what you said when we were watching this.
It's also known as the Caribbean of the Quarter Lake.
That's exactly.
Zip up.
That's
Quarter
exactly
zip
right.
of the Caribbean.
The quarter zip of the Caribbean. That's exactly right. Of Alabama, which is the Caribbean of the South.
Sure.
You guys are keeping up. You guys are doing a good job. So Clark is there, and they're having a wonderful time, kind of hanging out and playing golf and whatnot. Monica is very against them getting married, Vivian and Sean. And this really upsets Vivian. And Sean is like, listen, Monica, I am not going to marry your daughter unless you are on board with this. And so Monica is like, you got checkmate. But actually what she does is she goes to play poker with them. And that makes everything better. They're all happy, they are all chummy, and everything is back on board. Monica keeps hanging out with Clark. He tells her that he wants to open a nonprofit to teach underprivileged children golf. And she's like, I want to do that with you. And so he hires her because she doesn't have a job. They all go dancing at the club, and Sean is new here. And so to Earth, to the overall general idea of it. So he, in the club, finds a girl.
He in the club?
Got it. He's in the club, finds a girl, and they start dancing. And, you know, that's not cool. But it's especially not cool when your fiance is sitting right there.
And your fiance's mom.
Yeah.
And the whole
Yeah, the whole
family.
family.
10 feet away.
It's just kind of like, what's going on there, you think? What's going on there? So she walks out, and she's not super pumped about that. Sean kind of makes everything okay when he lets everyone know that the entire time he was thinking about Vivian. So
That'll do it. Problem solved.
all good. And yeah. So everything's good. Monica is now so on board with this wedding that she says, y'all, what if we did this now? We're in the Caribbean of the South. You're only going to be here once. YOLO. And so
Can't
they
afford Alabama every weekend.
we can't. So we got to go do that. Now, Clark
We're
did.
here. We're family.
That's right.
Our guy Clark does shoot his shot and says, hey, do you want to go out on a date to Monica? And Monica's like, I don't want to muddy the waters when it comes to our working relationship. So that's unfortunate. It's wedding time, y'all. They are having the wedding on the beach. It's adorable. They kiss. They jump over a broom. It's great. They're all dancing. Sean is dancing with his wife, and that's it. He's learned his lesson. And Clark makes another move and is like, hey, now that we're back here again, do you want to give this another shot? And she's like, okay, I guess so. And they kiss, and everyone cheers. And that, my friends, was Spring Breakthrough.
We did it.
We did do it. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, and we are going to talk about this movie with 4 segments here on
Deck the Hallmark.
No, book Sammy Sosa for next week.
Next week, not this week. We don't have time for Sammy this week.
Oh, hey, everybody. Welcome back to Deck the Hallmark. We're talking about Spring Breakthrough, a movie that aired on the Hallmark Movies and Mysteries channel as a part of the Mahogany branch of movies that Hallmark recently launched end of last year. Let's talk about this one. I was actually taking a shower this morning, actually, and had this thought about what if we started with the hot take to
that came to you in the
prime
shower.
the pump.
You thought of the hot take priming the pump in the shower?
Yeah, because the water was hot.
Yep.
And so I said, what if we give our opinions on the movie, then we call it the hot
I thought
take?
you were taking cold showers now. Now
Not
that you're
anymore.
like a cyclist.
No, I'm not. Well, I actually have been thinking about this. I've been talking to my doctor about it, but he's still letting me know that warm showers are probably for best for me.
You and Lance Armstrong still riding every morning?
Guys, come on. You know he can't keep up.
We got to get him a yellow bracelet. I didn't even think of that. Till
That's
just
right.
now.
We need dude. If he doesn't have a Livestrong bracelet by next week, what are we even doing? Here?
Let's talk about this one.
Do you wear a helmet?
What?
Do you wear a helmet?
Yeah, I wear a helmet.
Yeah, of course you do.
Have you fallen yet?
No, I've not fallen.
Wow.
Well, the bike's doing all the work, Brian.
No, guys, the motor doesn't do anything unless you are pedaling.
The motor doesn't do anything.
It's not like a motorbike. It's an electric bike. You have to pedal.
Like these lights aren't doing anything.
That's right.
With the electricity.
So the work of turning the switch.
It's actually the same. But it's like what if you had to do this the whole time?
The whole time?
The whole time. You have to jiggle
And
the
bike would
switch
take
the whole
you
time.
up a hill just by doing this? Yeah, okay. I buy it.
Yeah, then it would be
I buy
great.
it. That's what's
It would be
happening.
great.
Not
It would be great. So let's do.
So you were
what
in the
did
shower.
what did we
Sorry.
call it? The
Prime the
hot
pump.
take. We're gonna do the hot take.
Hot take. Prime the
Brian, what do you think about this movie?
So I don't want to seem insensitive right off the bat, but was I the only one who was psyched when she lost her job and we didn't have to sit through an auction planning movie?
Oh, my gosh.
I thought when
that was great.
When that got announced that that's what she was talking about, and then she got fired, I was like, it was snowing at night, and you're like, are they going to cancel school tomorrow? Are we in for a treat here?
Yep.
So I was psyched about that.
You think that's gonna come across as insensitive?
I don't. Yeah. Just saying, hey, good for you getting fired.
Oh,
you know?
I see.
I don't want to seem like jobs aren't important and whatnot. In this one,
Are you okay?
yeah, jobs are important to people. I don't want to blow it off. Like a lot of people recently lost their job, and things are not great when you lose a job.
Thanks for reminding us.
I don't want to come across like, hey, good for you getting fired. It means nothing. It's a big deal. It's a life changer.
It's a movie, Brian.
So I learned that love takes work.
I don't want to come
learned that
across
jobs are
as insensitive.
Yeah.
Jobs suck.
Jobs. You ever read the
Hope
jobs
you got
report?
fired this week. Hope you're out there listening with no job.
That said, I mean, it sounds nice, You get a nice nice package.
Still
sit
at the
around.
back of a truck.
The casting in this, I thought, was great all around. Keisha Sharp,
Yeah.
I feel like she was in the pocket, to use a term from Brand there. Like,
Yeah.
she felt so good at this person. It felt like it took like no effort. Like, it was effortless for her. It was so good. Ryan Brown as the daughter was really, really great. I thought she was great. I feel like the dynamics were really well done.
They were really done.
They were really done.
Well done.
Well done.
It's rare to see that. Medium rare.
So I thought that was really cool. The casting, check. There was a lot of, I don't want to be insensitive here, but there was a lot of describing the past that just went on and on and on. And I got bored with listening to them bring up the past. Like, you got to move past the past.
Move past the past.
You got to get over it. Good story, good idea for a movie, all the stuff going on in their lives, good acting. Nothing against it, just it wasn't like zany. Like, these movies haven't been in general. They're not zany. They're just like, just emotional stories. I like a more zany flick.
You like a zany flick?
Like, yeah.
Like a zany flick.
Billy
Zany
Zane?
flick.
Billy Zane?
Billy Zane.
Billy Zane flick? Maybe. Not. I wasn't where they were going with this though. So, it was okay for me. It was just a little like I just found myself kind of like bored a little bit. A lot of like just conversations about what has happened, and you know, I kind of wanted a little more. Have I mentioned Zane?
Yeah, I think you have a couple times.
So that's where I kind of fell on the spectrum there.
This movie is an interesting one because multiple times in this movie I go, okay, when something happens, and then it turns out to be a bit of a nothing burger when it actually like plays out. Like I thought maybe she was gonna like school him in the game of poker to teach him a lesson, and I was like, this is gonna be great. I love it when people learn lessons playing cards, and that doesn't happen. And then when our guy Sean dances with a random woman in the club with his fiance watching, I was like, okay, now we've got something, and then that got cleared up pretty quickly.
Like, no, he's just having fun.
And then I will say, the chemistry of Monica and the guy Clark was hot and heavy, and I really did enjoy those two together. But yeah, overall was. Yeah, it just kind of was, and the going from I am very against this marriage to, hey, we need to do this now. We're in the Caribbean of the South. We don't want to lose our moment, was quite the arc for me. And I don't know if you had to go that hard in the supporting. I think there's a happy medium there where it's just like normal, where it's like, hey, yay, my daughter's getting married. That's great. I'm so happy for her. I think that is kind of where I expected it to end up. And instead it went all the way to, we need to do this right now. You don't know what tomorrow holds. So that was surprising to me. Overall, just an okay for me, but the chemistry bumped it up a good bit. Dan?
Yeah, I don't have anything fun to say about jobs or anything, but I'll say
don't
this.
Be insensitive.
Yeah.
The first hour of this movie is just boring. Like, it is like nothing is happening. How do we still have 45 minutes left? And then the last 25 minutes of this movie, it is like they are throwing everything at you. I mean, I thought it was plenty zany for the last 25 minutes when you've got so much stuff happening that's just like out of the blue crazy. Mm-hmm. They make the wedding right now. The dude is dancing with this other girl and it means nothing. She does a flip, turn 180 on him complete. Like, there's so much in the last 25 minutes. You're like, where was this spread out over the rest of the movie? The first hour, it was like, I can't believe I'm watching this. I cannot get into it. I cannot get invested. It's so boring. Having said that, you're right. I think the two leads, the chemistry is good. Demetrius Gross, who plays Clark.
Yeah.
He's great. I loved him in Justified. He's in season 3 of Justified. He's in Noble's Holler there. He plays a guy named Errol, who's a great character in that show. And I saw him. I was like, where do I recognize him from? Then I saw that. So big fan of his. Glad to see him again on screen. That stuff worked. The last 25 minutes were crazy and fun. The other hour was not. Just kind of there, just boring and not good. So, yeah, not great, unfortunately.
Let's get to all the feels. This is where we talk about what in this movie gave us feels. Brian, what you got?
So Demetrius Gross, as Clark was my feels. He was so freaking cool.
Yeah,
just the coolest dude. And I'm thinking, if he's my uncle or somebody I know as uncle, I just want to hang around that guy all the time. Just like listen to him talk and like see what he's doing. The guy was just so cool. He played that role so well. Like just unflappable too. Like she just denied him right to his face when he took his shot, and he's just. Okay,
just like,
cool. Like, man, that guy, that's who you got to aspire to have that. Like, that vibe. I don't know. He was great. He did so good in that role. And so he was just my feels.
This movie did remind me, and also Dan as well, reminded me that it's time for my yearly golf outing. So looking forward to that. I do go once a year and crush. When you are as good as I am, to go a lot would be
unfair to the other golfers.
Well, it's like breathing. So kind of similar. I
Caribbean
also
of the South
liked I know I keep, calling Alabama the Caribbean of the South, and rightfully so. I did
This
like
is
this.
as nice as we've ever been to Alabama.
I did like this resort and was surprised to find out that it was in Alabama. So,
Those yellow beaches, man.
yeah.
Oof.
Throw out the beach. I don't care about the beach. The resort,
Yeah, you
give
want
me
the
a
pool, right?
pool.
Yeah,
Give me a
absolutely.
pool and a comfy bed. Yeah, the resort seemed nice. Dan?
Yeah, I searched my heart, found nothing.
All right.
Not much here. Plenty of white what's, but nothing there, unfortunately.
Yeah, let's go golfing though.
Yeah, it's time.
It's time.
Take some pics. We'll do a vlog.
We'll do a vlog. We'll be back in a second. Deck to Hallmark.
Deck to Hallmark.
Mark.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. We're talking about, did you just say the word Mark? The name
Yes.
Mark?
Mark.
What was that about?
Just, I got cut off there, I think.
Yeah, he said the whole thing. You
yeah.
just cut him off.
Yeah.
My bad.
Just.
It sounded like Mark in your ear because you're just
Yeah.
bad at
Yeah,
your job.
that's my bad.
Yeah.
Guys, let's talk about the wait what's in this movie. Brian, what you got, buddy?
So just a few.
Okay.
The Get It Vacation Denise, I feel like went on a beat too long.
You think?
Like, that was funny, and then it went like, okay, that's enough. Like, let's stop this now, and then it still kept going.
Still going. Yeah.
And so I thought that was funny to me. The point of Denise twisting her ankle, I guess, was to open up opportunities for Clark and what was her name? I'm totally blanking on this now. Monica, Clark and Monica to have to do things together, but I didn't see the point of it. Like, unless it was just supposed to be like a funny thing, a way to get out of dinner.
The weird part about that is that there's several weird things about that. You're 100% right. One is they've not gone to any golf lessons yet because
No.
at that dinner she goes, her friend says, "I'm going to sign us up for golf lessons."
Yes.
And so the sprained ankle, I guess, is why she can't go initially.
Right.
And then decides that she's hitting it off so well and she's only on set for 4 days, so she can't shoot
You
it
gotta
anymore.
take a nap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, we'll
just
get
a
there.
quick-
We'll get there.
just a
So
quick
help me
one.
if anybody takes it.
I
We'll
won't-
get there.
I won't touch that.
Yeah.
So yeah, just her. I was just like, what? Why? Are we just trying to get out of dinner really quick? I don't know. It
Yeah.
was just a weird move.
It
there.
was weird. And that sprained ankle didn't look sprained or rolled at all. Like
No.
it was like,
yeah, it seemed fine.
Yeah.
yeah, just good use of faking an injury though. If that's what she was doing,
Yeah, if that's
just
what you're going
just
for.
to like relax and be left alone in a hotel room in a resort. It's a good move.
Hotel room.
Hotel
rum.
room.
The rums in this hotel, really good.
So what if she didn't lose her job? Was she still expected to go on a last minute spring break trip for
She had an
to meet-
auction to plan.
Yeah, I mean, what if she was
Yeah.
busy? Like that all hinged upon her being
But I mean,
fired.
if your only kid is like, I got engaged, I'm getting married.
Yeah.
You're probably going on the
You
trip.
got to do it, but it's still like a big ask.
It is a
you
big
know?
ask.
It's kind of a
Big
big
ask.
Yeah.
Big ask
Big
right
ask.
there. Let me see here. So everybody, the biggest thing going around here.
Jobs, am I right? Who
Yeah,
needs
I
them?
mean, well, some people do. Some people do. The wedding itself, which seemed to be, it seemed like either everybody had wedding attire packed just in case,
Yeah.
or they were able to find just a phenomenal formal wear shop to
Yeah.
just get all,
Yeah.
it
It is
tailored.
Alabama. It's
Yeah, it's the Caribbean of the South. Absolutely.
Nobody knows formal wear like Alabama.
And so that just the logistics around the wedding completely, because like there's a lot of stuff you need to do before a wedding, a ceremony of
Yeah.
that sort. And everybody was
Marriage
dressed.
license.
Yeah,
all that.
license, you got to just everything. The organization of it all, just the whole logistics just like boggled my mind. And so, and especially, it wasn't like they were just dressed nice. Like they could have done short sleeves, khaki pants. I buy that.
Yes.
They were to the nines.
No, to the nines.
And
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
just like, I don't know, maybe, but I don't know about that.
It's impressive.
And that's enough for me. Brandon, you got anything?
I just was reminded in this movie of how good the Skype song is when you call someone before the pandemic and everyone switched to Zoom or Microsoft Teams. We all use Skype. Like we used to do interviews on Skype, and it was the highlight of our day
Oh,
when
man.
you'd get to dun dun dun. And I wrote that down here.
Thank you for doing that.
This was a good place for it.
So they play a poker game, if you recall, and Clark comes up late, and his chips are already waiting for him. Hey, you're good. We have them ready. We thought you might come, but also they put down the 3 cards in the middle there. And depending on the shot, those cards are a different cards.
Yeah.
So that's tough. They go to the club, and one of them, I don't remember who says it, says, I haven't been in the club forever, and I'm here to let her know that she still hasn't. That is not a club. That is like an event space, a banquet hall,
maybe
a sad club, if that. As somebody who lives in the club personally, I'm here to let you know.
Club rat.
I'm a club rat. I'm here to let you know, not a club. And last but not least, and this is my favorite thing, she's having, it's almost wedding time, and Monica's talking to Vivian, and out of nowhere, Dad
rises from the ashes.
Dad's here. Where did he come from? Dad's wearing an all white suit.
Yeah, he is.
There's like an all white background behind him.
Yeah.
Did he just come out of it?
Through the
What was he laying on the
scene from
ground?
Christmas in
Was he
Carolina.
laying?
Yes.
Was he laying on the ground? Was he just crouched?
Yeah, maybe.
Here I am. What was it? We got a red carpet in here because dressed to impress. It'd be the equivalent of me laying down on that red carpet and sitting up and being like, I'm here.
Somebody called for me.
Someone rang.
You rang.
Why? How? Where did he come from?
Yeah.
It was amazing. I love that scene. Hello, Dad's here. No one has seen me all movie. Dan?
So there's a best friend in this movie that comes with Monica on the trip. And she's very invested early on. She's given a lot of sage wisdom. And then she lays down to what I can only describe as the long winter's nap. she takes a nap for 30 minutes of the runtime of this movie. And in doing so, misses, I don't know, a half dozen plot points.
What I missed.
And she then has the audacity to be like, I take one nap and all this happens. You must have taken the world's supply of Ambien. I don't, the amount of things, it was days. I don't know how long it actually was. It was days.
She had a sprained ankle.
There was so much that happened, and she acts like she went to bed, not for a night's sleep, but for one nap. And all of that happened in one nap. And for the life of me, I don't understand how they thought they could write that in there. And
Everyone vacations differently, Dan.
Yeah.
Float or a nap.
Sometimes you drop some acid and then you don't go for a nap for 3 days. Yeah. It was wild. I forgot she was in the movie and she shows up and she's like, I take one nap and all of a sudden the wedding's on. No, a lot of things happened here, for crying out loud. This town in Alabama is so dead. If you're not at the resort or you're not at the restaurant, they show a couple of pictures of the town. It has a traffic light and no cars anywhere. It is like something on a Silent Hill. Like, it is like a very distinct vibe, and it's not a vibe you want any part of at all.
And that's why we love the Caribbean of the South.
The biggest wait what of this movie, I think most people will skip over because it's played so well. But I need to make sure people understand this. Monica goes to the Caribbean of the South, Alabama, as we call it.
Yes.
Gulf Shore.
With no intention of playing golf. None. It's not a part of the plan. There's no golf invested. There's no golf involved. She's not like, well, I'll go down and maybe I'll pick up golf for the first time. She doesn't get down there and then go, maybe I should take some golf lessons. She doesn't go, ooh, the hot guy from the airport is the golf instructor. I'm going to take some golf lessons. Her friend signs them up for golf lessons, gets hurt, and she decides to go for one. And then that idea of one golf lesson becomes the majority of the film that isn't her daughter's wedding. Mm-hmm. If it's not about her daughter's wedding, She is grinding out there. She has had like 10 golf lessons. She is doing
Whatever it
everything
takes.
she can to get ready for her next
And her
tour
friend naps
event.
through it all.
That's her, yeah.
I don't know if you heard.
exactly.
She's unemployed. She needs something.
It goes from one fun, like half golf lesson to like, man, I got to get all these lessons in quick. The next tournament is coming up. And it doesn't make any sense. They don't explain it. They're just like, yeah, she goes on vacation. Does she spend any time at the beach? No. She takes hella golf lessons. So many golf lessons.
Making up for lost
That's
time.
making up for lost time. That's exactly right. And that was pretty wild. Clark's character is the golf pro instructor, but he also says he got a degree in international finance. And then the sentence he says after that, when she says, is what are you doing with that? Or like, why don't you use it? Is he says, well, it's really hard to work in international finance in a small local way. Yes, yes.
It sure is.
International finance means it spans multiple nations. You can't just do a small local international finance.
It's a tale as old as time. You get an international finance major and you say, I'm going to the Gulf Shore. I'm here.
You don't see those international man of mystery, small town hero.
That's right.
Guys out there. It's one or the other.
Good gosh. And then also at the poker game, the chips are laid out for him and then he gets in and then he folds with no bet. I like, you don't have to be like a poker whiz. You don't have to be Phil Hellmuth to understand that if there's no bet on the table, you can check and stay in for free. This guy folds with no bet. He just mucks the cards. He's like, no, I would rather not take a chance at winning money.
I've done that before.
Yeah, I bet
I'm
you
like,
have.
guys,
I bet you have.
guys, let's be honest. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing this.
Were you going to say something, Aaron? Just stick to Hallmark.
We're ending the show.
So what you're saying is you do need Valeria to come in and explain the rules of poker for you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I sure do.
apparently
Okay.
Valeria needs to explain it to Clark. Good gosh.
Clark's like,
It was
I'm
a
out.
mess. And then
I'm
the
out.
last one is, and maybe it was just me, but they've been hanging out all day and then they're dancing and he says, I've waited all day to tell you how beautiful you are. Why? What's the why?
Why are you waiting?
Like, was she not beautiful earlier in the day? Is he saving this line for later?
He's saving it.
To make it sound better? Like,
Clark
he could have
knows,
said
man.
it at any point all day, but didn't?
He knows when to do it.
I don't know. He is smooth.
I trust Clark over me
That's
with,
true. Yeah,
with
that's
those
true.
lines.
100%.
any day.
That's true. I take that last one back.
Is that it?
That's it.
I do want to let everybody know that if you ever get the opportunity to play poker with me, about an hour to an hour and a half into it, I will go all in.
That's
and
right.
it is a bluff.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, no. You're done.
Don't you worry.
It's full ADHD.
Without fail. Man, is it time? Let's go.
Know when to hold them.
It's time for What the Hallmark. It is where we talk about any questions that we still have that we'd like some answers to.
Sure. Did you think of this
Brian?
one in the shower too? Or is
No.
this okay? Just checking.
Brian,
Shower's
come
really
on.
hot. He was like, what about a What the Hallmark segment?
Doesn't
No,
make sense.
this is clear as crystal. Saw it in the dirt.
Dirt.
written out.
Mine is at first I wanted to see Clark's world before this. Like I want to see him as CFO Clark in the business world doing his thing. But and that was my question. Like what was his? I want to see his life. And then I was like, wait a second. Why was he even in the airport? So that was my question. Why was Clark? Do we know why Clark?
That
was,
is also my What the Hallmark.
Oh,
Why
okay.
is Clark
what is he doing in
the
that
guy
airport?
who is the golf pro
yeah.
Coming back from
of the Caribbean of the
something.
South? What
in,
was he?
in a Chicago
Was he in
airport?
Chicago?
He's in
I
the
assume.
Chicago airport.
Because I don't think they didn't say anything about connect. I assume
Well,
they're
you
in
wouldn't
Chicago.
be sitting around in the
Yeah,
Well, unless they
Alabama
connected
airport.
somewhere, he could be.
maybe he's
halfway,
no.
but
There's more use for international finance in Chicago, so maybe he was trying to.
maybe
But he's the head golf
I know,
pro.
but he's still
He
trying to
shouldn't.
figure out a way to use it.
on the weekends when people play the most
in
golf.
the
When is he going up
yeah,
there?
exactly. The suburbs of Chicago in a small town,
Yeah, I don't know.
local.
I don't
So
know.
that was a big. That's a big one.
I have a theory I want to throw at you guys.
hear it.
So you guys know Monica. Monica in this movie is against this wedding. Then she starts to get a little bit more on board with our guy and is like a normal amount of, okay, I'm going to be supportive. She turns Clark down for a date. The next day, she goes and she meets up with Sean's parents. And she's like, hey, do you know where Clark is? And they say, Clark actually left. We don't think we're going to see him again. And then she goes and says, Vivian, you got to get married today. I think that this entire entire wedding is a ploy to make sure that she can see Clark again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not official. There's no wedding license.
I mean, I think that they all think it's real.
Yeah.
I'm saying the reason why she said we have to do this wedding now is because she just found out that Clark left and isn't coming back. But you know what he would come back for? His godson's wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all a ploy.
Purely ceremonial,
It's
maybe.
all
Just
a ploy.
good thinking.
It's good
Dan?
stuff. So I had the YC in the airport.
Yeah.
My other one is these two crazy kids that just got married. They're still in college.
Yeah.
Like they live in the dorm rooms in college. What's going
It
on?
worked out for Corey and Topanga.
It did work out. That was a very interesting situation living wise though.
Yeah.
What are they doing? Are they moving into the dorms together? Are they now all of a sudden wealthy, even though they're not out of college yet, and getting like? It seems like the most inopportune time to get married possible. There's 6 weeks left of school, and you're married now. I just what's like when they get back, they got to finish and get their degree.
And she's waiting
she's
to
applying.
find out if she's getting into like
Yeah.
master or something.
Law school.
Law school.
Yeah.
Well, listen, it's fine. I mean, I got married young. It worked out fine.
I got married young,
Really,
too.
listen, we're all trying to figure this thing out, you know? Trying to figure this thing out. We did, everybody. Congratulations. Another one down. We'll be back tomorrow with a very fun interview.
That's right.
Really excited about that. And then next week, Brian, I understand you're making biscuits for the crew.
Wow, biscuits for the crew.
I knew all about
I
that.
think we have
Yeah,
that.
crew.
Yeah.
It's on my
Let me check
calendar.
the
Biscuits
calendar.
for the
It sure is.
biscuits for the crew.
that week.
Those are gonna
And
be
you
delicious.
and for some reason you put it in the calendar as biscuits in quotation marks.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So,
Which I don't
joke's
understand what
on
that
you.
means. So we'll find out about that
Stuff.
next week. Until then, maybe the first to wish you a Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark is a Bramble Jam podcast. Is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.